Jonah had difficulty getting his bearings. He was in a mysterious place that was full of shadows, spirits, spiritesses, and endless mist. The mist itself was intangible. Jonah wouldn't be able to touch it even if he wanted to. And yet, he did not want to. He didn't know how he was aware of it, but Jonah knew, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that those shrouds of vapor concealed things he had no hope of matching. He tried to walk, slowly and cautiously on account of his limited vision. The mist swirled as though its aim was to taunt him. It provided just enough visibility for him to manage a few steps, and then promptly obscured things once more. It never changed, not even once. He made it 10 paces, not understanding what was happening, and then, "Jonah!" an urgent voice whispered. He turned. A strange woman stood near him. Brownish blonde hair shrouded her face. She appeared to be accustomed to hiding her face behind the strands. Her features had some semblance of strength, but Jonah assumed it must have been genetic because her eyes, hazel like his, seemed to contain a silent scream. "Who are you?" asked Jonah. "What do you want?" The only thing to feel was confusion. Jonah was relieved to discover that he wasn't alone in this dense cloud of mist, but the woman's presence felt as if it didn't bode well for either of them. The complicated thing for Jonah was that, while he was relieved that he wasn't alone, he had a strong feeling that together they were alone. He didn't know what else lurked in this mist, but he was sure that the two of them were little to no threat. The woman shook her hair from her face, which revealed a scar that ran along the base of her left jaw. It was very nearly a straight line. Who the hell had a symmetrical scar? "I don't want anything," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I need you to help me. It's a matter of the utmost importance." Jonah stared. "What is this about? Why are we here? What is your trouble?" The woman gazed at Jonah with such intensity that he wondered if she meant to convey her desperation telepathically. "The mist protects me. I cannot be chased here." "Chased? Who?" The woman raised a hand. "Please, just listen to me. You asked me about my trouble. My trouble, Jonah, is time." Jonah frowned. "Time? What, you need a watch or something?" She shook her head impatiently. "No, I don't need to tell time. Time is my problem." "What are you talking about?" asked Jonah. "It's time, Jonah," she repeated. "Time!" Jonah's alarm shattered the dream like a baseball through a window. He sat bolt upright, dazed and unable to focus. It was the blaring alarm of all things that centered him. His brain felt like a computer would. It only became fully functional after information resettled after a reboot. He was Jonah Rowe. He was in a sea of blankets and sheets that was no more than a disheveled pile because he fretfully tossed and turned so much the previous night, and his radio alarm, for lack of a better term, was set to go off at 5:45 a.m. on 91.5, a cheesy golden oldie station. He'd deliberately set it there because it was a guarantee that he'd get out of bed. The music on the station was so god-awful that he couldn't wait to hop up and switch it off. He remembered his morning ritual, and then he remembered the occurrence that was so commonplace nowadays that he should consider it a part of his morning ritual. He had dreamed about her again. For a full month, Jonah's dreams began normally, or as normally as one could call the random pieces of memory that you could call dreams. And then, no matter what was in his mind, that strange, misty setting bled into it, complete with the foreboding walls of mist and that brownish-blonde, hazel-eyed woman with the lined scar on her jaw. As always, she knew who he was, and asked him for help with a supposed problem with time. What did it mean? She had a problem with time? Did she not have enough of it? Was she bored and thought she had too much time? Jonah didn't have a clue.